Ni hao, and welcome back to English broadcast of the LPL. I know that the EU tiebreak is going on right now, so get off your multi-twitch, but preferably keep our voices on because it's me and Rusty. We're about to send more Chengdu action your way. It's going to be OMG versus Snake in our third and final game in this series. It's going to be a hype one. And it all comes down to this, very important match for both of these two teams. Snake, it's Snake week, so we're really just trying to ramp up if we're Snake, trying to maybe make their break towards playoffs. This is the time to play up for them. But OMG, the chances are still technically alive, so they would like to start here.
There's a must-win set for them because they need to beat Snake to make sure they can get above them in the standings. Only one more set after this one, I believe, left for OMG, and that is against Top Sports, who are currently making a very big surge in the LPL. So this is their must-win for OMG, and the follow-up is just that you have to win that one as well. And then you find yourself in the 4th place position. So ultimately, this is a battle for 4th. This is the second time that OMG have played against Snake, and last time they met, it went to Game 3 as well. However, Snake are able to pull out the Gouda and have some funnel strategies back then. It was at the start of the split. So a lot has changed. OMG, they're playing standard. Snake are playing standard. And they meet in the middle, and we still go to Game 3.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, though, for Snake. It's almost reminiscent of what happened in spring, right? They had this massive surge at the start of the split. We're like, hang on, why is Snake #1 on the table all of a sudden? And they actually held it for a good couple of weeks. Same thing happens in summer, where it's innovation time, and it's just like, well, who's gonna benefit? I wonder if it's Snake, and then Snake also just rocket up the standings. But again, when we go back to standard, or once again we're changing back to what's normal, and it's more of a level playing field, that's where Snake starts to struggle once again.
There are times where Snake have made the late runs as well. They ran the gauntlet in 2015. They went 10 games. They went to 15 games in a gauntlet in 3 days, and they almost made it to Worlds, but not to be.
Yeah, they did.
They lost out at the end. 1 best-of-5 away, I think, as well, just from getting to that one. But at the end of the day, Snake, they've never made it. They've never been able to get past those hurdles when there is some kind of trial in front of them. They crumble under the pressure. But the one thing that has always been consistent is that FLICKR is a beast. So if you're Snake coming into this 3rd game, just empower him. Just give him all of the resources. You know that they're playing tanks against you. Ban the Ornn. Put him onto something else. They're constantly removing Cho'Gath, they're removing Mundo. If you get rid of the Ornn, you limit the tank options up there, then maybe you get a better opportunity to really shine and let FLICKR strut his stuff.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I mean, FLICKR has always been a prodigy, When the first time he came into the LPL, everyone looked at him kind of the same way they look at, like, a Jack over an Iboy, and just like, this is the guy, He is a prodigy. He is going to make Sparks fly. And then nothing really happened for like a good couple splits. FLICKR was a bit of a disappointment to a lot of people. And then more recently, I would say, maybe like the end of 2017, 2018, FLICKR has just been literally popping off. I mean, FLICKR's performances, no matter what you put him on a carry, put him on Shen, he'll still carry. Like FLICKR is a very strong player right now. I totally agree. He is the type of person that you can invest a lot of resources in. You can see him just leading out there onto the stage in front of Snake.
And there are some things I would change to give him more power. It wouldn't just be the top lane picks. I would get rid of the Camille from SOFM. If you're going to pick the Camille, I'd actually give it to FLICKR now, because there is something that I have noticed, this trend.
What the heck is that?
Unsure. Instructions unclear. But he wants Snake to win. Now, what I would do is I would get rid of the Camille for SOFM because he's looked very shaky on the pick. Now, you'll notice that they've changed their support. I mean, it's just one support.
Oh, there's a guy bowing. Got it.
It's whatever you want it to be. Viewers, whatever you want it to be.
Spy right there. Meditating. There's Warhorse. Hanging out. That's straight meditation right there.
Hitting Zen. Ready to go for this 3rd game, OMG against Snake.
It's an important one. We talked about this rivalry between the two teams as well. Big deal.
Yeah.
In the Chengdu arena right now. In OMG's home.
I mean, Snake won last time, so they definitely want to get it back, OMG. As the rivalry continues. OMG, I would say, actually are coming into this 3rd game as favorites. If you compare the last 2 games, I actually think that OMG have been the better team. The first game was draft issues. The second game, they cleanly closed it out. So you come into the 3rd one, I'd say OMG are poised to actually succeed in this, unless Snake do something different, which is why, a lot of this pre-game conversation has been about what can Snake do better. Because they are the ones that need to actually shape up, or they are going to be shipping their way out of the playoffs contention.
That's true. What do you expect to see? Like, if OMG run the same type of thing, and you say, all right, no assassin mid lane, let's give Icon something like, a Swain or like an Orianna. We know he can play like both of those picks. Then on the opposite side, what is the type of innovation you're expecting from Snake? Because we know that Snake can pull literally anything out of their bag of holding. Like, it literally be anything. So, if you were to make a guess, what would it be?
I don't think we will see the Kaiser in the bottom lane. I think we'll see something different down there. My early expectations is that they may pick up the Morgana for themselves as a denial from OMG. Yep. I think that was too big of an enabling tool. But I also think, past that, what we'll see from Snake is a Sejuani or a Zac. I think that's what we'll get in the jungle position. And then we'll have a carry in the top lane, we'll have a carry in the mid lane, and we'll be much more conventional in terms of their style. In terms of Snake style, not in terms of the style of League of Legends. That's what I'm expecting to see from them if they want to adapt, if they want to improve. Because at the end of the day, the Camille hasn't been all that great. We know that SLFM's a very strong player, but he hasn't felt enabled. He's just been beaten around by a Trundle.
Yeah, I think that is the big thing. I will say in more recent games that Coach Jun is back behind them. I know Snake swapped out their coach for a good while, I believe at the start of the split, for the majority of summer. Now Coach Jun coming back in. You will see him. I like to say that Coach Jun, he's like the Gordon Ramsay of League of Legends coaches. He will get up into his players' faces and call them an idiot sandwich, but he also gets stuff done. So OMG going to be banning away the Kindred, Ryze, and Gnar right here. And Snake will look to remove the Rakan, Talia, and of course the Aatrox. I mean, who else could it be on red side?
Nothing significant through the ban phase to be noted just yet. Once again, the standard bans across the board. Gnar once again from OMG when they are on the blue side. The Trundle should once again be locked in. Now what the Trundle does do is it's a blocker for the Sejuani. So there's a very low chance that SLFM should be going towards that pick, which is why I mentioned the Zac before, as something to keep your eyes peeled towards.
First pick Trundle, once again. Saw that in game 1. And Snake over to them. What are they going to look to pick up? Seems like a Tahm Kench.
Tahm Kench is viable. It's also very good into something like the Morgana, opposed to going the offensive route. True. You can pick the hybrid, the tanky champion that has been hitting the bench a little bit here.
And will be pairs very nicely with a Varus or a side serving of Ashe.
Yep.
But those two things are very good with the Tahm Kench.
Definitely true. You could even just go something like the Ezreal if you want to sustain yourself and release the Kench to the rest of the map. And just poke in the bottom lane in the 2v2 instead.
What a world we live in where it's just like, yes, we should be picking the Ezreal right here. I just don't trust many people in the LPL to pick up the Ezreal. I mean, like, it works sometimes. I feel like with a player like LWX will enable him to launch himself into the enemy team, but we also have players like Uzi, where it's like a legacy pick, so it's a big one for him. Gragas going to be the pickup alongside the Tahm Kench, and the source is going to be a Swain. OMG once again.
We saw Icon picking that one up in the last game. Now it's always possible that it still goes towards top lane for Xiang. He doesn't play a lot of carries in that top lane, but Swain is one of them. And of course, Icon did still seem decent on the pick with the Trundle. That mid lane gank was nasty coming out of them. So that is unsurprising.
Yeah, or once again be the misfortune. Though that being said, it's on first base right here, so you don't get a chance to pick up the Morgana alongside it. So you'd have to expect Snake would ban it away.
Exactly, but the TK is already locked in. So picking up their AD carry is a matter of priority. I like that, given that it does also potentially force the Morgana to be banned. Now, I think that is a perfectly fine ban from Snake if they choose to ban that one away.
Oh, okay.
That is it. He knows his matchup. I'll give him that much. But that is a pretty early Azir locked in here. Emperor of Shurima, they want to scale up. They want to hit those late game team fights, it seems. On the back of Guogo, perhaps putting on his carry pants.
Yeah, fair enough. Guogo, we've seen him pick up his fair share of the Ryze himself, but the Ryze is gone in this game. So Flandre is going to have to find himself with something a little bit different. Guogo, the same. Looks like it will be the Azir. LeBlanc taken away. They are still planning for the fact that Swain could be going to the top lane because Xiang has actually done that in this split. So they are planning for the fact that Icon could pick up an Assassin anyways. And I do expect Snake to be following with a Morgana ban alongside this Misfortune. Varus going to be the ban out there against Light as well. May even be an Ashe to follow. We'll see.
I think that would react based off what Snake do now. If Snake ban the Morgana, then you would ban the Ashe. You get rid of the guaranteed engage tools if you don't have the spell shield to protect you down in that bottom lane. We'll see where they go here, Snake, with 5 seconds left. I would love to see a Morgana, but they might just be banning mid laners that counter out Guogo like the Akali Always possible. Or you know what? They could just
not do anything.
They've cracked the sads with bans. They've decided that none of them is the correct
Coach
option.
John isn't going to like that.
Oops-a-daisies, and there goes the Ashe.
And there's the Ashe, yeah. Very likely because, of course, 2 AD carries are very good alongside the Time Kench. In fact, they don't have an escape.
It's guaranteed crowd control that can move around the map as well.
Yeah.
So not only are they very low mobile champions, so they can be saved by the TK, but at the same time, they can also go somewhere else. Throw out the Varus ultimate or throw out the Ashe arrow.
You know who kind of does that? Jin.
Yeah, kind of does.
Kind of does the same thing.
Kinda.
A little bit. That's going to be here for Light. OMG. Go on. Give me some Veigar. Give me some Fiddlesticks. I'll take that one too.
It'd be support, I would expect.
Veigar and
Veigar's actually a pick into his ear.
I
shouldn't say
hilarious.
that. Veigar's actually a pick in mid lane into his ear as a counter. Well, yes. I'm just saying because Veigar was hovered.
Yeah.
So Zereth
got nerfed, I believe, on this patch or the next one. This one, I think. Sad boys.
I do not recall
no
exactly
more monkey.
which one.
Just lock it. Just do it.
When you want some gap close into the ear, this is
Yeah.
one way to get it. Whole lot of it.
That works. I mean, okay, we're just going to get ourselves a Syndra, aren't we? OMG, locking the Syndra for Icon. It's a bit of an assassin. It's a bit of a mage. It's a bit of an Icon pick.
That's right up his wheelhouse. So I like this one from OMG. They give themselves some mid-range engage. Works nicely with the Trundle Pillar. Works nicely with the Swain Never Move. And it's just another form of crowd control that they can stack on top of one another. OMG's composition, I'd say, is actually quite strong.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is going to blast some faces in some team fights for certain. Ornn comes in for Flandre into the top lane, so it's not going to be a carry game for Flandre. Now, I know that we said that we would like to see a lot of resources invested in Flandre in the top lane, but it's actually going to be the opposite.
Sad boys!
Yeah,
the
saddest.
No matter. At the end of the day, they still picked up an Azir Jhin type of composition. So
they did.
Flandre doesn't get all the resources, but Snake's entire 5v5 comp seems a lot more sound in this one. SOFM picks up his Gragas. He is not on the Camille. That is a takeaway. Camille just goes completely through the bans untouched. It's not going to be seen in game number 3. So Snake have recognized some things that were going wrong with him. They don't go towards the Yasuo Gragas style of composition for Gorgor. He ain't that kind of player. He's going to get the Azir. They're going to scale once again. They want that late game. Give him 3 items and watch him carry.
That's the goal, but we also have a Misfortune, the Fiddlesticks, all of the AoE, and also the Syndra coming out there as well. You're looking at AoE stuns, someone who's going to get terrified, massive AoE damage. I mean, this is going to be a very strong team fight. That will spike relatively early as well. You know, you're looking at the 2-item spike from Misfortune, absolutely. And Syndra's always going to have the utility. Base damage on Crowstorm's also massive.
Yeah, most of it's magic damage though, unless the Misfortune gets ahead. That's the thing that you're going to have to take away from this one. The scaling of OMG is primarily magical damage. And for Snake having that Ornn, having that Gragas, there is a chance they can just stack the magic resistance and feel really good for themselves once they get those late game team fights across the board. They've also got a lot of good range once they hit late game. Jin's damage significant from all ranges. Once he has 3 items done, and Azir with the Sand Soldiers can stand at a very safe distance. I'll see if he has the cleanse actually when we get into game. That's the summoner I would expect from him, but he has barrier tentatively at least, we saw.
There are all the tools right here from Snake to not just get murderized by this composition from OMG, though it's a nice looking composition. I mean, we have scaling and we have team fights. It will be explosive as we head into this final game. Maybe not in the laning phase, but once we get to that mid game, that will be the catalyst as we get onto the Rift once more in our final time tonight. I'm going to head over to Chengdu.
What? what are
That was an absolute mess.
I heard a lot of things.
That was like 4 chants and someone saying IG. I don't know, Rusty.
Well, we are on the Rift regardless of the chance. Now, as we do load on, we look at what happens in the level 1, but more importantly, where these junglers will be moving. So we've got a Predator Gragas, very good at getting those ganks off after the first recall. But prior to that first shot, you'd obviously be considering that middle lane. Now, Gokko doesn't provide a lot of utility, doesn't provide a lot of damage, but I think it's all about giving more reassurance to Gokko to get through those early clears. You know, you get some pressure, some control, maybe even just find Jericho and prevent him from ganking. And that may just be the game plan here. Press off him. As, it's
everyone
a Fiddlesticks misfortune. Nah, he gave up.
Yeah.
He wanted to last hit a minion more than he wanted to win the
He
bottom.
had a bit more time. He had like a good, 2 to 3 more seconds.
If you don't set up those 3 minions, however, because they die at the same time, you can't get all of them. So
as Misfortune?
Yes.
I mean, you can double up 2 and shoot the last one.
He has E.
You can't double up the other 2, and you've got to set them up with your auto attacks.
That's the thing at level 1, right? Like, the minions are designed in that they're equal rights between all of them on the first wave. They hit fairly, and so the first 3 million minions die instantly. Which is why he gives it that extra second, just throws it out and runs away.
Oh, that's real annoying for Flandre. He's going to have to burn his flash straight up.
Noticing a trend here.
Me too.
Trundle Swains and level 2 ganks with the pillar.
Yep.
Get the flash out of Flandre means they can come back there, of course. When you look at this top wave in its current state, that is 4 stack of range minions about to become 7. That means it's going to be a big wave that crashes. Now, the reason I bring that up is it's going to bounce back. When that bounces back, that's when Trundle should be coming up towards the top side. So what I would do if I was him, do your Grop, do your Wolves, consider fighting on the bottom side Scuttle, but then just run it straight back up to top lane. Maybe even bring the Syndra with you.
Right, stepping up right there, just harassing away. But this is probably one of the most annoying lanes I've seen in my life in League of Legends. Oh no, we're just going to find a snare down to fight. That's going to hurt a lot, though. He turns around with the Aftershock, just gets a million resistances and says, screw you, I'm going to hit you in the face now.
Yeah, not too bad of a trade in the end, actually. And while we are looking at this bottom lane, remember it's a Boots and 4-pot start for Light. He knows he's going to take a lot of poke, but he's already lost 2 of those potions. Make it 3 now. So those boots are not being very efficient for him currently.
Yep.
Whereas the Misfortune on the other side has gone towards a Doran's Ring, which I like a lot. And I believe a lot of people should be starting that over anything else, especially if you're going to Comet to make it rain on the Misfortune.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, she's a pretty mana-hungry champion if you're maxing E. Like, remember last time that Misfortune was in meta, she got shoved out of meta by A, nerfing the damage, but B, increasing the mana cost for it. So it's just like, Misfortune needs a lot of mana to keep it going. I think it's like 80 to 100 mana. It's pretty expensive.
It's a big amount because you don't want support Misfortune being completely broken. So if it was cheap, support Misfortune would be insane. And we got a chance to see the rune choices here out of Gorgo. He's controlling this mid lane quite handily. Icon is wasting a lot of mana with these spell trades and missing the damage. So at the end of the day, it's not quite the rookie performance just yet. This is going to bounce, isn't it?
Yep.
He's trying to avoid the Dark Wind from bouncing.
Because the problem right there is the Tahm Kench has to avoid A, the Jhin, but B, the minion wave. Because even if it latches onto the minion wave, it can still bounce towards Light. It's complete RNG at that point, so... Yeah.
But back towards those mid lane runes, I didn't actually talk about it. I was distracted. This happens a lot. Gorgo has gone Electrocute as his main choice, so domination in the Keystones, but he's also gone towards the Transcendence in the Nullifying Orb, so he's going to maximize his cooldown reduction. Once again, these supports are doing it. It means that he's going to have 40% CDR pretty quickly. Maybe 1.5 items will maximize the CDR that he has. You know, I'm curious to see where he goes with his itemization. Nasha's Tooth and then perhaps a Fiendish Codex and his Rider's Reign. Doing some serious damage.
Well, indeed. It's a little ways off, though, because we are looking at... that's a really nice way to hold the wave as well as the old Fiddlesticks. You need to move around, don't need to kite. Just stand there and drain.
It also gives you move speed when you're standing still like this. If someone tries to engage on you, you hear the crows, you sprint away. That's also something that people don't do enough on Fiddlesticks when trading in lane.
Stand still for 1.5 seconds, so you get the extra movement speed.
Control the bush.
1.5 seconds.
Stand still and sprint at them to throw the E. There's a higher chance you hit that.
Yep, it's true. I actually think that Fiddlesticks, his arm should go into a T-pose. That's probably the worst time Flandre could have done that, because now he's under attack and the minions aren't going to help him all that much. There's going to be flash out by Jericho as well, but here comes SOFM sprinting out of the jungle. He's pretty limber for a fat man, and he's going to land
Those
the
minions.
barrel roll. The minions are really starting to add up on damage. Oh my god, the pillar damage. And Xiang under attack. It's going to be a second. What a counter gank from SOFM.
SOFM, that's exactly what the Predator can do for you. Gets himself in from the Krugs and sprints at high speeds, and suddenly with this big minion wave and a 2v2 breaking out, OMG, they thought they had it. They thought they had the fight. But remember that this starts, Jekko, he's level 4. That's a big stack of minions, so Xiang's not level 6. He probably would have gotten 6 off the minion wave, and they flashed forwards to secure this one. They can see that he is coming from that Predator icon as well, but they really wanted this kill, and they don't have the ability to take out the minions. They don't have the ability to tick over to 6 by killing them all. The white flag is waved, and Snake, they smash them.
They absolutely do. I said the minions weren't going to help him. I think the minions were probably the MVP in that one, to be honest.
They probably did 400 damage.
I was going to say, if we could actually bring up a goal graph right there of minions damage done, I reckon they probably did the most damage. Because they were all caster minions as well, and those things hurt like a truck. So
they hurt like a truck. If the truck hits you.
Yeah. If you give a kiss to an oncoming truck, it's going to knock you out. Icon dropped to half. Oh, what a barrel coming in from SOFM. Great flash from Icon, but he's still going to die to the Sand Soldiers. And SOFM, we were calling him black, we were calling him passive. In his third game, he's just woken up.
Well, he picks the Gragas this time around, so it's refreshing to see SOFM pick something that is much more in his flavor palette and play like that as well. Gets the ganks in the top lane. Suddenly he's got momentum. And with that momentum, he's able to run across the entire map. And now he's tearing up Summoner's Drift. And look at the minions that constantly keep getting lost by OMG when they're losing these trades. It's not just a bad fight, it is worst case scenario across the board.
Yeah, I feel like Jericho's just been kind of like the trash collector, you know, the bin goblin, I guess. You know, he's just been going from lane to lane, just picking up farm. He's going to be the richest runner in the world.
No one could pick up the top lane farm, though. That's the sad part.
That's true.
They both died.
Yeah, but if he didn't die, you better know it, you know.
They will catch up
all over those minions.
They'll catch up in a lot of XP because he caught the mid wave. SOFM was 2 levels ahead of him at one point after that top trade. So things could be worse for the old Trundle, but things are worse for the old Syndra.
They are, you know, even though she's technically even, outside of, you know, that kill that went over to Gogo, but in terms of minions, and that's a nice thing.
You know what I will say?
What's that, Rusty?
Is this Fiddlesticks is stacking up gold real quick.
Oh, he's racking it up.
That Spelt Thieves, he's going to be probably 9.5 minutes completion. Which is
he's gonna be the richest Fiddlesticks this side of Runeterra.
Yeah, probably too fast for a Fiddlesticks to say 9 minutes 30. I guess he had a late recall. Let's go 10 minutes and 17 seconds.
What's this for?
That's for him to complete his support quest.
Oh, yeah.
That's the number I'm picking. What's yours?
Price of Right also, or Price of Right?
Closest to. Let's just go closest to.
Let's say 11.24.
11.24. No. All right. No one knows how much money he currently has, so we are just picking arbitrary numbers.
No, it's just exact calculation. A lot of people always ask, it's like, why did you go so specific? And it's just like, well, it's more impressive, if, you know.
Yeah.
And it's also like very unlikely to be, you know, 9:30 or like 10 minutes exactly. You know, like when's the last time you ever heard something dead on, right? Very unlikely.
Uh-oh.
SOFM's being very sneaky.
He wants
right
the
now.
scuttle, and he's just pulling the Cartman.
It's accurate in more ways than one. I like it. Ooh, this is a teleport. This is a setup play from Snake. Who is it going to be? It's the TK.
He's ready to make some plays. Looking at the Raptors. SOFM's finally found himself again. This new vigor. The Raptor camp, he's back.
He smelts the That's all you really need. You know, SOFM, he's the type of guy, you give him some... I don't know what went on there. That was a lot of dash and a lot of battle cones. SOFM, you know, he's like comatose. You know, he's in the hospital, but then you bring a raptor and you bring it over his nose, and he sniffs the raptors, and he's just like, I'm alive, I'm back. You know, I'm revived. Well, look, that's line vision right there. We're talking about the triangle vision, but that's just like it's not a Bermuda triangle vision. It's just like it's like Orion's belt.
Remember, Maestro teleported in, so he's completed his support quest item. Maestro comes in, he's able to lock down all of that vision through the jungle. It means the dragon is completely free, and that's actually a brilliant set play from Snake.
Yeah, I like it particularly because it actually pushes it along, you know, how long it's going to take for 5 to complete its quest because there's no one in lane.
I was thinking that, but so, the sad part is that you're correct. I think if they were standard laning, maybe it would have been faster.
I think so. But they just...
He's done. There you go. I think it's actually in between both of us.
Oh, it is.
It's a jet in the middle.
Yeah. We're both winners.
No one loses.
No one loses. Technically, you could say we both lost, but
we both came second, which is the first loser.
Glass is half full, right? But yeah, it's completely good job, 5. And that's still pretty fast, you know, because he's just landing constant dark winds off of cooldown.
He's been hitting the trundle as well. You remember that? Spends a lot of time just hitting a frontliner, a tank in the bottom lane. So you usually stack up your money generation quite quickly. They're going to see him recall.
The Tam Kent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said trundle and I was like...
Same thing.
Both begin
Tam
with
Kench.
T.
Yeah.
And have some more letters behind them. Yeah. Very similar.
Like Zin's spear.
Like... Just the tip?
And a spear behind it.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's a Xin Zhao quote, by the way.
It is, yeah.
I felt like I had to clarify because I don't know how many Xin Zhao players there are in the world.
The question is, does it say that on the Chinese client? I don't know the answer.
Because obviously some things don't get translated very well. I don't know if you've heard the new Nunubot voiceover.
No,
I reckon
Chinese.
like 95% of those jokes are just not going to translate because all like Western memes.
Yeah.
This is going to hurt Xiang a lot.
You know, that means that someone has been hired just to say Chinese memes, potentially.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
I believe for a week, I don't remember when it was. It might have been over Lunar New Year, but the caster, Chang Mao and Teddy, they both did a in-game voiceover. So like the announcer that you heard was the two Mandarin casters.
I was in Australia during the time and I had to listen to Kobe and Freak, which I thought was a bit weird.
Yeah.
You know.
But they had all Chinese memes, right? Whereas like on the Western side, it was the it was the Kobe and Freak memes.
I was more miffed that it was, you know, I love listening to Kobe and Freak. I'm not discrediting them. More miffed that there was an oceanic option, they didn't get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
We don't play on that.
Who are the most Australian casters? I mean, I know there are Australian casters, but who's like the most Australian? If you had to have an Australian off, right?
That's rough.
Yeah. Who's on the tier list?
I can't decide between Atlas or Pastry.
Yeah. They're pretty Australian.
Yeah.
I know if Atlas was trying, he would be real Australian.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a bullet time right on Light's face. Maestro is definitely going to have to go for him.
A refreshing difference between games this time. Remember that it was an Atlas star that was trying to save someone from a misfortune ultimate.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Tam Kench can just save you. So that's the difference. We mentioned this in draft. Offense versus defense. They have staked their claim here, Snake. They want to hold the fort. They don't want to beat their opponents down. And if you're Snake, I mean, you fully acknowledge that late game is the game plan. So I don't blame them for picking the Tam Kench.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Never mind.
It's fine. Yeah, I feel like we get a lot of games like this, Rusty, particularly you and me. I don't get this with any other color caster, but we get a lot of serene games, you know, like the Bob Rosses of League of Legends.
I think that casters talk too much.
That's true. I think, like in traditional sports, there's like a lot of silences used very well, but in League, we just talk constantly. I don't know whether that says something about like the culture, the casters, or what, but I know like a lot of people, if there's not talking, they'll be like, oh, this is weird. Yeah. It's a bit awkward. I think that's usually the thing that comes up. You know, people will say, oh, it's awkward. But is it really awkward? Because like silence is a very natural thing. That's a very philosophical way to look at it. But,
I mean, a lot of things are different in the esports realm. That much is for certain. Silence is just an example of it. Sometimes it's nice to just, you know, watch the game as it happens.
That's true. Hear some game sounds, you know. Experience the ambiance of the Rift.
Nope.
Crushed it.
I believe you can...
If we were talking right there, you probably wouldn't have really enjoyed the full situation, because now Five's going to come out and say happy birthday
to
Guo. Oh, and now it's going real badly. He's going to flash out of the cast, but in comes the unleashed power. Whoa. Oh, Guo with a counterplay. He's not going to get the kill, but it was flashy. S2FM in the 1v1 against 5, but 5 is going to Zonya's on up as 1-1P arrives to the play. Maestro over the wall gives him a love tap. Now Icon under attack. He's going to get barreled. Do a barrel or Icon. He's going to die. Here comes the lineup shot coming out from the Jin, and now FLICKR in a 1v1. This is the weirdest fight I think I've ever seen. FLICKR is going to die. Xiang gets the kill. 1-1P follows up, and all in all, that's 7 deaths.
It was a 4-for-3 trade in the end. 2 alive from OMG, just light left for Snake. That was one series of unfortunate events really across the board. Guoguo seemed like he was on an entirely different page to the rest of Snake. SLFM was there to throw a cask, but that was literally the only thing we saw from him. I'm just going to save everything for the replay after that one, because at the end of the day, we're all just able to subside our focus from the middle lane and come back to our natural habitat.
So, I don't say this very often, I know a lot of other people do, but really you could just cue the Yachty Sacks right here, and it would just be perfect.
It's well navigated from Guoguo at the start. That's a good cast from SOFM, but he had to throw it over a Trundle pillar, basically. And then once Guoguo does this, he's just dead. Maestro coming in with the ult, attempting to save him. There's a chance that that could have worked, but Maestro flashes forwards. Flandre hits the ultimate, but doesn't go towards the Fiddlesticks direction, which may have been a free kill. So the Fiddlesticks is able to survive for quite some time. And then here comes Light's ultimate. And we've got our cones opened up between AD carries. He's recalling and snipes him, and then Flandre sacrifices himself to get a single kill as well, knowing he was caught. So here we are. That's a Herald. He had to summon that one. I think he ran out of time.
Where you going? Wait, Shelly's just going on an adventure. Whoop. Pull of the Forge God just hits nobody. Icon dodges out of the way of that flourish.
They had no summoners to follow this one, Snake. A fight has just happened.
Ooh, subjugates the Flandre. Tower goes down. Oh, that was Shelly. Shelly's having a crack.
Big zone defense from Snake, really. Again, not a lot of summoner spells available for them, so they do have to just try and brute force their way in. They wanted to make the pick happen at all. Icon survives perfectly fine. But the charge was done in the middle lane. Shelly, you mentioned it. She was a bit of a wanderer. Not too sure where she was going, but she found her mid lane target.
Who gets the local gold if Shelly's the only one to take down first tower?
I don't think anyone does.
So it just gets distributed evenly?
So, hang on.
Oh, bullet time, and Crowstorm
is a tanky
onto Flandre, though he doesn't really care. Jerko's now going to get involved, and Flandre is now starting to care, but he's still alive. There we go. Swanshaw P finally finishes him off.
Well navigated actually from Jerko, saved the pillar. Flandre, it looked like he was pathing weirdly, but that's also because he expected the pillar and didn't want to get caught bottlenecked in between the turret and the wall. So whilst he walks the safe way, Jerko also holds onto the pillar, uses it afterwards, and still locks him in place. Very well done from OMG to get the dive off after a bit of an awkward start. This also means they get some time to find themselves an Ocean Dragon and prevent the two Mountain Dragons. The two Mountain Dragons secured by Snake.
4. First tower. To actually go to a champion. Yep. And Jerko will also get the dragon right
That's
here.
a big misfortune.
A mountain for Mountain. That misfortune has 8,000 gold, 3, 0, and 1. And as you said, quite big. Has actually been maxing out the E and then W second. Actually did go for double up as the second max.
Yeah, it's interesting. Of course, usually with the double up, it does crit after it kills a minion, so you can build crit now, but they nerfed a lot of the bonus damage that it dealt besides that crit.
They did, because before you could actually legit one-shot someone with the Q.
So it feels to me like this is all just about stacking up the E as fast as you can for the ultimate. Past that, you could go Q for extra base damage to amplify that because you don't have crit completed till your third item, or you know full well that you're going Stormrazor. So because you are going Stormrazor, it is a guaranteed crit, and you can go for the W max second for the attack speed, and because you've got the bonus amplification from the crit connecting, maybe you don't need to max Q till last. I haven't ran numbers on that.
I mean, if you think about when Stormrazor is going to come in, it's going to be approximately at the same time as around like level 13, level 14, and that's when you're going to get the max out on your W. So the two would align. We'll see if the theory actually pays off though.
Usually Q-Max is strongest in laning phase anyway.
Of course.
So because you are maxing E4 lane strength, it does seem like a conscious choice here from Sean P that seems to be very practiced. Of course, I don't know all of the Misfortune strategies offhand. I do not play that champion. I am just speaking towards potential reasons as to why people do it. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, in solo queue, it's often Q-Max anyway, and then you would look to max the E if you're just going to be double lethality, because you place the E on top of the ultimate, and then people are slowed during your ultimate. So that's typically the setup for a solo queue Misfortune. But for competitive level, it's definitely different. Well, last time he actually just like flashed and altered someone in the tower, so I actually don't know what is going on in the inner machinations of Guoguo's mind.
He did do what we expected as well in terms of items, so he's gone for the Banshees.
Yep.
Gets that extra CDR, capped himself out at 40 right now.
Yep, he's not going to get Syndred today.
Nope. Maximum cooldown reduction done for him, and those boots can then become Berserker Greaves or Soul Shoes as he sees fit. Of course, Sorcerer Shoes should be the much more standard choice now.
Yep.
Depends how he's feeling, however. Not having any kind of precision tree in his items, and his runes rather, may consider.
Yeah, I mean, there's an option for him too. Absolutely. He's still going to attack very quickly with the Ashes too.
He pillared the Gromp to aggro it.
He did,
so
yes.
Not feeling too good about that one.
Upsy daisy. Yeah, so getting the flash off Jericho is going to be quite nice for Snake right there. And of course, getting a flash off of anyone at around 21 minutes-ish when Baron's going to be becoming a thing within at least the next 5 minutes is obviously a very, very nice thing to have. All the flashes are up for Snake as well.
Actually a really strong Snake by the current item spikes as well. Gargo has Stoneplate done for SOFM, so he's feeling very confident. Usually that adds a form of engage to the Gragas. The reason I say that it adds engage is because you don't die instantly when you flash body slam someone. You can go forwards, and flash body slam usually puts you in range of more than one member. There's a high chance that you get the maximum value from that Stoneplate active, and you get the 100% bonus health. And note that he's gone towards all of the health crystals afterwards as well. So all about that current efficiency, as strong as he possibly can be in the moment. Got him.
Smacked him. Yep, also a reminder for any of those aspiring Misfortune players out there, you always want to be swapping targets as much as you can to make as much use out of your love tap passive as possible. A lot of people just focus down on a single target, and it's like you're missing out a whole bunch, especially if you're going heavy lethality first, because your love tap passive actually scales off of AD, so you really want to just be maximizing that if you can. Also means that if you get to the end of the game, you can destroy 2 towers faster than 1. So you actually just completely annihilate the 2 towers at the Nexus.
Snake now looking towards the Baron area. That's where all the vision should be, if nothing else. I actually think they'd be wanting to get a fight before they go towards an objective. Don't pull an OMG, as it were. Snake are better than that. Flandre currently doesn't have teleport, however. He is a fast boy. He is not a teleporty boy.
Oh, no, he's not. I mean, I think the fastest boy on the Rift is probably SOFM still, that Predator.
That is up for debate.
It's a race behind him. And
speed racer, though.
That's true.
He doesn't have Hail of Blades. I take that back.
Oh, no.
He has cheated us.
But the other AD carry 1p also very fast, actually. And because he will be going for the Storm Razors.
I'm willing to concede and say that it is just SOFM when Predator is up. But a Ghost Ornn is pretty quick.
That's also true. Still think it's SOFM.
Because he has teleport now, and he's grouped up anyway.
Knock up onto 1p. And yeah, Snake will be happy with this one. They knocked down the middle tower to a pretty low HP percentage.
Just a bit of a how do you do.
Yeah. We're now 24 minutes into this game, and
all right, Jericho's getting me.
Blue buffs up.
We need to have a chat.
Okay,
we need to stop using our pillar to aggro camps.
Yeah. Well, it does deal
flashed
1 true damage.
But it's not about that. It's about the fact that he doesn't have it to get away from stuff.
No, he doesn't.
And Snake are pressuring in his jungle. The reason he flashed is because he used it already to start the Gromp before.
Yeah, but I mean, this time he doesn't have a flash to burn, so why would Snake, you know, aggress on him again? Because they were looking to burn his flash. Logic.
Right.
It's a logic path.
Yeah. You sound like a flat earther.
Yeah. If you say anything with enough conviction, it makes it not true, but you can convince someone it is.
Yeah, I'm like people can believe in whatever they want to believe in, right? But I have a friend that chose to believe that the world is made up of fossilized birds.
Yeah.
And giant animals. And that one just gets me. I can't get past that one. But
I don't... Alright, I have a lot of questions. It's definitely not for this broadcast, but I will be talking to you afterwards about that one.
He just posts images of rock formations and says, this was a giant dinosaur. It's a rock.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
So at some point they existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solidified into the earth, apparently. I don't know.
It's still starting to sound like a Tim Minchin bit at this point. Yeah. SOFM is going to be clearing out this ward. Got it. 30 gold in the bank.
Flandre doesn't have a lot of mana, but he does have a cleanse.
But he does have an ultimate.
He's getting trigger happy.
There you go. Get off this tower. Get. Guoguo, he'd really like to finish this, but he's very out of position. Didn't get the Terrified down, so Fire would just be very scary and send him packing.
No comment. They're still fighting. No, they're not. They're done.
No, he missed the claw.
All right, everyone,
so
stop.
Icon missed the claw and Xiang did. To be honest, it feels like everyone just gets their cooldowns off and they're just like, we haven't fought in about 16 minutes and 12 seconds, so let's just fight.
5 was fine. He used the ultimate. He got a cleanse out of Guoguo, who stepped up to take a turret after the Gragas ultimate was used in the Ornn ultimates. The mistakes were the Gragas and Ornn ultimates because they wanted to siege the turret, but they were mistimed. So at the end of the day, they don't get what they're after. And then a Swain came along and flashed forwards, and unfortunately was just a little bit short of the mark there. So everything disengages.
Yep. 4-5. That's going to be bullet time on top of that. Maestro takes the brunt of that damage. And I'm really just enjoying this game of Howling Abyss, to be honest. It's just a lot of back and forth. There's some respawns from base. Some more items being built as well.
This is what happens at the start of every 1-for-all match. Everyone walks mid lane and tries to 5v5.
Yep, Plandre by himself. He's going to get knocked down to half. And Curtain Call.
Ornn almost has ulti.
3, 4.
All right. Happy little accidents.
Yeah. 4 of them, in fact.
Mid tower still needs to be broken, though, by OMG. I mean, a lot of this game is so hard for them to close out or even, like, contest the Baron if they can't get this mid lane outer turret broken. They're hunting. But they're not hunting for the turret.
If this goes on for another 60 minutes and we're just, like, in the mid lane pushing back and forth, who benefits? Because it's not
Snake.
the viewers, so it's got to be one of these two
Well,
teams.
Snake benefits. The viewers benefit. If we get to 80 minutes, everyone
and we're
wins.
just stuck in the mid lane.
For the game. Yeah.
We were having this conversation last time this happened. We were saying, like, minions need to scale harder. Like, minions need to get to the point where they're just, like, raid bosses.
The thing is, you just get so invested in the narrative if the game hits 60 minutes, you know? Like,
that's true.
You just
it's
want to
kind of
know
like you flip a switch. Yeah, exactly. And at a certain point, you're kind of like, you don't want them to end because you want to break a record, right? Like, I've definitely been in that situation before. I'm just like, well, we've spent 80 minutes of our lives on this, so we might as well just push it to see if we can hit 2 hours.
You're watching Netflix, you're at like episode 8, there's only 10 episodes, but it's 3 AM. What do? You know, you could go to bed.
Yeah.
But why?
Only losers would do that.
It's just getting good, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. You do hit like critical mass at a certain point. You're absolutely right.
To answer your question then.
Yeah. Well, you said Snake.
In 60 minutes. Yeah. It's just going to be exciting and we all win.
Okay.
But Snake have the advantage.
Right, okay.
Clive's not happy.
No, he's not. But he is Fiddlesticks, so he's going to go to the nearest drainable life form.
Oh, no, he's not. He's going to die if he does that.
Yeah, he probably will, actually. But he definitely wouldn't be maxing that one. Horn. Finds 2, and who is left out to dry? It is the Troll King.
He's alright.
1, 2, 3.
Form a line.
4. Oh, that did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Wow.
Ladies getting formation.
Tankiest one's in front.
They're able to survive. Snakes still have control of the Baron area, but they don't want to start it. They really want to pick. And I feel like I said this 10 minutes ago, but they really want to pick. And if they get one, then they can do the objective. They are not going to pull the OMG Cardinal Sin, and they are still scaling up to the late game anyway with a Jhin and an Azir. So if it comes to it, if they hit the super late game, I don't think you'll hear any complaints from Snake, but it does mean the state of this game massively slows down, and there is no real sizable advantage for Snake, even though they've had control of the map. It's 4-1 in turrets, but the gold difference is just under 3k.
Yep. Negligible at this point.
Which is a mid-game win for OMG, relatively speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
The concern is if they can do anything or not, as Flandre accidentally found it.
Yeah, he was like, oh, bloody hell, it's a Swain. And Shane was like, I don't care. I can't kill you. You can't kill me. Let's go about your business.
Grant me safe passage to these minions.
Yeah.
Not waste my time.
Don't do that. It's very rude.
5 is the one that will probably be the most likely to get picked off if I was to pick anyone. Jekko with Gargo with Stoneplate in his ultimate.
Are we playing that game?
Very hard to kill.
Who's the person to get picked?
Okay. Well, look, historically it's 5. Champion-wise it's 5.
I'm going to say Jekko.
All right.
And you're going to say 5?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, turns out it was Maestro. What? Somehow that didn't stun him. Okay, he's a lucky catfish. I mean, they do say that cats have 9 lives. I guess that extends to catfish.
I'm not sure. Maybe because they're half cat, they get 4.5.
Fine 3. And Guoguo is not feeling it.
There's no ultimate though from SOFM, so they're just gonna have to call that one off. Light not in position. Snake are just throwing stuff.
They really are. They're just like throwing hands at this point for no particular reason. It's just like, hey, my ult's up. It's got like a 34-second cooldown. Let me just chuck it out.
Yeah, eventually one of them
like, I can do that too. Let's go to target practice. Oh, missed that one. Maybe I went ult now.
And we're back in the ARAM shooting gallery.
Whoop, there we go. 1, 2, 3.
That one will hurt.
4.
5 is on vision, so he's not going to be able to get the ult off. But now he's on a flank, so Snake are going to respect it. It's the Ocean Dragon. We're going to the Ocean Dragon.
Yeah.
And make our merry way down the river.
This game is ridiculous. Snake, yeah. They're just painting a nice little picture. FLICKR headbutts a wall. And now he's desperately under attack. Maestro is going to gobble him up and start running to safety. Gragas is going to find a steal on that one. A 5 from the bottom side. It's found SOFM. Maestro walking away, and they're both going to get silenced out of this Dark Wind. He goes down to Xiang. And now Blue Buff, he's just in the scrum as well. Icon, low swan, P, double flashing forwards for FLICKR, 1 versus 2. Oh, it will get taken out by the Jhin though. Light over the wall, bang! That's going to be another kill to him.
5.
2 to 3.
He's 1 hit away from dying, so he has to respect.
We're in the shootout, but meanwhile, it's SOFM taking out Jericho. The minions are getting involved in this one as well. Light, 1 versus 2. Toss out grenade, takes 1 with him.
Jericho also wins the jungle battle. SOFM with no health to his name. He's just going to get chased down. We'll see if they can get him. I doubt it. However, when you look at the state of the map, that fight happened next to an Ocean Dragon that was already gone. And there is no objective to secure at any point on this map. People will most likely just respawn before it can happen in the first place. And so we are just purely going to subside. But OMG, they won the trade. They're going to get pressure bottom. The minions are going to get the top lane turret. Still OMG favored fight.
It is, yeah. I mean, the gold actually hasn't changed. It was about, maybe a little bit. Maybe about like 500 gold. Now, 1,000 gold. There you go. Even gets up to close to even.
So, FLICKR has no mana. Now, he dashes forwards. He does use, it seems like a clarity. I don't think he actually had that one. Either way, Maestro's caught out of position. Now, from this point onwards, Xiang is truly just 1v5ing all of the carries. The tanks, FLICKR and Maestro, they can't get access over to the carries, and Guoguo decides this is his moment. He goes in. He misses because OMG were too busy running forwards to respect the Azir, and that would have been a dead Schwarzrampi. That was potentially a more dead OMG overall. Guoguo, unfortunately, with the miss on the execution. Now, 5 knows that he's 1 hit from dying, and Light just gets pillared, so very good presence of mind from Jericho. 5 does die in the end, but they make sure they get the trade. Yeah, I think it's worth it if you 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Jhin has found out how to count to 5, so he will pick it back up. You know, Rusty, it feels like when we fight, we just fight because.
I mean, okay, to be fair, that was for an Ocean Dragon.
Yeah.
But
there's like a lot of things you could fight over for at this point in the game, and an Ocean Dragon is not usually at the top of the tier list.
I have more questions than answers.
Okay.
You know, like, why would we fight over the Ocean Dragon when all of our vision was set up over the Baron? They didn't have wards, Snake. They kind of walked willingly through the river. OMG saw them and just blindly ran into them.
I was just like,
we're back
at the schoolyard, you know? It's just like, oh, you said something mean about my mum, and now they're just fighting.
It's meet me at the bike shed, do not bring the boys.
Yeah.
But they brought all the boys.
All the boys are on Baron right now from Snake. One horn. Get out here, Jacob. It's already gone. Teleport comes down. They might be finding ourselves a troll on top of that. He's right in the midst of the fight, and the bullet time is good. Maestro, maybe the sacrificial catfish. We'll see, because FLICKR is in there as well. SOFM trying to escape, and they're all running away, trying to murder as much of them as possible as they have this Baron buff. Coming in from behind is Xiang. He goes into bird form, and now he's going 1 versus 3 right now. Goes into the Zhonya's hourglass. He's about to be pinned down. SOFM with a fantastic belly bop right there. Whoops, someone just got sniped, and it's cut and call time. 1, 2, 3. They're out of range.
But that's a Predator from SOFM. He's still looking, he's still hunting. Now the Baron was secured by Snake, so they got the objective and they didn't get a fight. OMG, unfortunately, on the other side that would have been in the pit. It was on Snake's disengage, and from that, Snake found enough entryway to actually run away and kite backwards. Tragically for Xiang, You'll see it on the backside of this fight. Look at his teleport position. And note that he spends most of his time on a flank, where the rest of OMG weren't actually able to group with him. They spend more time killing Maestro. Icon comes over the wall to try and contribute, and they will find themselves FLICKR. But then it just becomes a battle of top laners and who can live the longest. And really, I mean, it doesn't really matter what happens here. They just trade 1 for 1, they call it a day. Top laners die.
Yeah, the answer was neither, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's a heal tank and one's just a very tanky tank. They both die. In fact, they're both about to spawn right about now. There you go. 11 to 11. Baron buff is still over to Sanke,
But
so you would expect that they have the advantage here.
We finally got the objective. We got the advantage, and the ball is now in Snake's court to make it work. They need to hit home structures, however. I will say that Light is 5-1-2, he's having a pretty good showing, and so is Sean P. 4-1-6. They're killing everyone but themselves. The supports are dying a lot. Mid laners are having an Orkies showing.
Yeah. They're on a crack at it.
Lack of a better description.
Yeah, we've had a lot of happy little accidents this game, but really that just turns into one nice big picture of League of Legends.
Yeah,
so
with a hint of titanium, why are you there?
yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks, mate. Made it up myself.
1, 2, 3,
That's going to hurt.
4. Yeah, it's going to drop him down to half.
That actually pushes 2 half-health members away from this turret as well. So Snake, just by using that Jhin ultimate, they'll get themselves at least a single turret. I'd keep pressuring if I was them. Go for the inhib structure.
Bring up the tower. And now we're really playing Aram.
If you give Azir 3 seconds, the turret dies.
Or, I reckon, yeah. Horn. 1. He got 5, and he's knocking up again. He's being really annoying to 5, but more importantly, the tower is slowly dying.
Yeah, the cannons are going to take it down.
Yep, got him. Oh, Jericho jumped in there. I think he got knocked in by an S2FM barrel. Now they're going to chase the forward. 5 just took a lot of damage very quickly. Now he's underneath the tower. He's going to fall right here. FLICKR closing in from around the side, and Maestro is finding himself a Xiang. Bullet time comes forward, and that finds 3 right there.
No!
Oh, right! Lights out for him as he flashes into the bullet time.
Oh yeah, hate to see it. They're still pushing for FLICKR.
Traffic cone comes up, but he's not stopping. He's going to continue dashing away. 2 kills on both sides, but the tower is down.
It's the most unsettling experience right now at Summoner's Rift. Light just flashed into the bullet time and died in less than a second. He's going to feel that one in VOD review sessions tomorrow.
Oh boy.
There's OMG, they're going to push forwards again. They win a team fight against a Baron buff Snake, and you know what I get from this one?
What's that,
The
Rusty?
game's going to continue for
Yes,
a little while. We are 40 minutes in,
We are
believe it or not.
absolutely 40 minutes into this game. And the Raptors will fall. Elder Dragon's going to be the next objective you have to fill, considering it's the only objective on the field.
I think OMG, if they get
Misfortune.
the Elder Dragon, can actually still successfully win a front-to-back team fight. But I'd say they're actually pretty gated by the Elder Dragon. I have a feeling that, you know, at this stage in the game, 4 items completed. It's not a massive outscaling or anything by any means. OMG can still win team fights, but I would say the ball is still with Snake, and that they should be defaulting to favorites in a team fight as it happens. Here comes Light. Hoping to avoid some bullet times.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have flash anymore, so he can't flash into another one.
That's true.
It's down to half already. Remember, Azir does a lot of damage.
Got entryway into this.
Jericho is stepping up. It will be a still attempt, but it's not going to happen. The safest hands in the east, S2FM. He'll secure the dragon. Uh-oh.
No.
Hello, 5. He wasn't expecting it. Snake wasn't expecting it, so they will kill him in the end. But it will be a kill onto the jungler, and Snake are in prime position.
Yeah, they had the advantage. Now they get the Elder Dragon to boot. They've got minions pushing in the top side. That is set up. Someone has to deal with that from OMG, but the rest of Snake push mid. That's guaranteed to be 1 in here, probably 2. And potentially the game to follow here if Snake get an execute on an engage at all during the next 30 seconds.
That's 2. There we go. Snake are just gradually pushing in. Jericho, 30 seconds off coming off of the death chamber, so will be a while until we get him out onto the field.
And they may even be able to save that second inhib. They're looking for 3 at once, Snake.
Right.
If they grouped up as 5, it would definitely be 2 inhibs, but instead, Snake, they try and optimize, get as much as they can. They will still most likely get this one in bottom.
Yeah, FLICKR's been setting it up. He can't step too far forwards against that misfortune. That's S2FM stepping a little too far into OMG. Curtain call, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that almost killed him.
Burn.
He is still burning. Oh, he makes it back to the spawn pad. Gets a bit of healing right there, but the meme became real as it almost took out the jungler. You don't just come back up, by the way. You just respawned.
That's an Elder Dragon Jhin for you. So Jin's doing some serious work. Jekko has to go back to base, and there's no real tanks there from OMG to defend them against this Jhin. You contrast that with Flandre on the Ornn, who is unstoppably tanky. For the most part, he's having a pretty good experience, honestly, on Summoner's Rift, now that he's scaled up in items. 3 inhibs gone, Super Minion's going to be doubled, and I feel like that's the moment that Snake needed, because they'll just go over to the Baron now, and they should be able to use that Baron buff with the double supers, and honestly, Minions will end the game for them.
Yep.
Unless OMG somehow steal this, in which case we are absolutely going the distance.
We really are, but again, you know, that's
Crit that.
That's a healthy crit right there.
He's giving it to Azir.
Yeah, really, because he's already got one.
Yeah.
He's fine. OMG, again, must-win game for them. Now is the time for them to play up. Otherwise,
if they lose, they're eliminated.
They're completely locked out of playoff contention. Because they need to win this one, and they need to win the next series against TOP. One Horde. Gets a knock-up. Oh, that's going to be right on 2-5 right there. But he actually buys a lot of time, and Jikka's able to move forward. This is going to be a big bullet time. Forces the Jhin backwards and splits up the fight right there. OMG. Been pretty happy with how that one turned out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good damage. OMG do not lose, but they are... Oh, hang on.
Oh, 5 off to the side. He gets the fear off on to Guogwo, but he goes into his own Zhonya's Jericho. Nice little cone right there.
Guogwo finds them funneled. Light was just haunting P, trying to find him. OMG still hold the fort. They have to recall. They've been spotted recalling. Baron still belongs to Snake. That's the massive victory here. OMG are forced to base. They're forced to defend the double supers. So it's a free Baron buff, and it should be game now for Snake, barring a monumental mistake in the next 2 minutes.
8 super minions inside that base right there for OMG. Oh, I have to get on the PvE duty.
It becomes a game of X-Hero Siege. 1 Baron buff around now. Flandre's got some heals, because why not? He has heal.
I mean, this is going to suck a lot for OMG, because they've still got another 2 minutes until their inhibitors come up, and that's just the mid lane.
Yeah, the minions will genuinely end this game. All it takes is pressure from Snake.
Snake just needs to push on for... Oh, Flandre didn't manage to land his headbutt right there onto the core of the Forge God. But one's down. And looking to Jericho, he's going to pop the stone plate, and in comes 5 as well, causing havoc on the front lines, but Icons 1-1P, both locked up. Jericho now looking to back away. He flashes out of the fight, but 5 is already dead. Jiang cannot find purchase into this fight right now, and it's a big bullet time coming through. He finds 1, but the rest of the tanky team is already on top of him, and Xiang has not really been able to offer too much to this fight.
I mean, he's still alive.
That's 4 coming in. That'll drop him on the spot. Jericho in the 1 versus 1 is eventually going to go down, but Jiang, 1 versus the world. Can Big Bird do it? I'm going to go with no, but he can definitely take someone with him. Now in this 2 versus 1, I don't know how this win is still alive, to be honest.
The minions are going to end regardless.
There we go. Eventually drops. The ace flares come up, and there it is. The minions come in and finish off the game. 44 minutes in this 3rd and final game. OMG are eliminated from playoff contention, and the Snake story continues.
I'll tell you what, it is a real tragedy for OMG. They had some glimmers of hope in the earlier stages. That first game, they won the early game. The second game, they looked significantly better, but Snake brought it back. Flandre just got to play the tanks, and SOFM looked much more like himself in that game, number 3. So they're able to get the victories. Snake keep the run, keep the dream going. They're pushing for that 4th place spot. That'll put them at 7 wins. And 8 losses, which is equal with Fun plus Phoenix in terms of wins that they have.
Yep. Snake continue getting wins, continue to push towards playoffs right here. Remember, they'll be playing yet another game 2 days from now on Tuesday. So it just doesn't really stop for them, just keeps on going. Remember, a lot of this is because of the Jakarta Asian Games and a lot of schedule swap-ups.
Sure have. We have a week 11 in our 10-week schedule.
5 games happening on week 11. Make sure to tune in for that one. In fact, next week, Jakarta Asian Games will be happening, so make sure to tune into Asian Games.
In fact, we won't even be on Monday. We're on Tuesday.
We are indeed.
Changed everything up.
So if you arrive on Monday, don't, because we won't be there. There'll be no LPL League of Legends. I actually think there won't be any League of Legends around the world, because Monday is usually the day that just LPL is on. So
it's the ticket.
It's not going to be a lot on.
Maybe tiebreaker day for NA.
Ooh, that's true, yeah. I know today is tiebreaker day for EU. It's happening right now.
Yep.
Yeah, 44 minutes. Oh boy. And Light, he was doing a lot of damage. 43,000 damage on that Jhin.
Yeah, still definitely scaled up. And Gwogor did look the cleanest on his Azir, but once it came to the crunch, he was able to do a significant amount of damage to the structures, and that will not be fully reflected through the damage dealt the champions, of course. Graph. Snake had control for most of this game. You can see the goal difference. There were moments where they were starting to become peaks and troughs on this mountain, but it was always a red side mountain. Snake always had the lead. They were able to close that one out from an early game advantage.
Yeah, it was a lot that went on. I mean, this game was frankly a mess from both sides. I mean, there was just no real direction through the entirety of the game. It was just like, we're fighting because we want to fight. Our cooldowns are up, and gentleman's agreement, let's just not fight for the next 15 minutes. And it was just that repeating itself over and over again. That's true. Yeah, there was actually a couple times where cooldowns just went up.
SOFM had an ult, but FLICKR didn't.
Yeah.
So the Gragas threw his cask and was like, well, guys, I have missed. Let's continue to wait 10 seconds. FLICKR, you throw yours. And then we just formed a conga line, and one by one they used their ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting real good at learning the first 4 numbers. That was a lot of fun. So if you didn't know them before watching this broadcast, I hope you do now.
You were counting a lot.
I was doing a lot of counting. I can never cast past 4 because Jhin never learned to count past 4.
Well, he killed 5, so that's what we did learn.
He did. Maybe he learned a new number today. That's 5.
Tragically for OMG, the Fiddlesticks didn't have the greatest presence on the map.
Yep.
I will say that the AD carry tried his little heart out.
He did.
Misfortune was everywhere, was doing a lot of significant damage through the game, and tried his best in those team fights. And while some members were flashing into it, he was still doing a lot of damage.
I don't know who would do that. But what we do have is a team fight that happened right after Baron. So go ahead and take a look at it. This is one of many team fights. But this was specifically the one where Snake managed to secure the Baron. And
this is the tank battle.
Walked in one by one.
Yeah, the Fiddlesticks that comes in, they try and focus Maestro. So they'll get him down early, and now this is where we say the tank battle happens, because Xiang and FLICKR are just going to try and beat their opponents for as long as they possibly can.
It's a tank off, if you
Xiang could have afforded to be a bit more kite-centric in his play here, and Icon definitely could have afforded to take the quicker way to join the rest of his team, but he took the scenic route. You know, he went to the top side of the map, just went the long way for no reason, but, you know, follow your dreams. And
keep your dreams.
Lose your team fights.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, in the LPL, we are taught to keep our dreams. So we should always, you know, try and
if you're a WE fan, you
uphold that.
Keeping your dreams.
Yeah, for next season.
Yeah. 2019.
Yeah, 2019
left. Sorry.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, indeed, OMG are now eliminated completely from playoff contention. Unfortunate. I know we said at the start of this series, now I did, that OMG at a certain point were our dark horses for this split. You know, they were starting to pick up wins here and there, but over time just kind of fell by the wayside. And unfortunately didn't really amount to anything. And that being said, I think if you were to collate all of like the top like plays and form the montage, a good portion would still be like Icon.
You would have probably 90% Icon making plays, yeah. You know, for OMG, the last couple of sets that they won, it wasn't just Icon, it was Chelly that I thought was playing pretty well. He had some good Swain performances, some mages in the bottom lane, but this time around they bring out Xuan P, they don't get the victories that they're after. Icon still had some good performances, but once again, those performances don't directly translate to a victory. And in the third game, even Icon was a little bit off.
Yeah, that is true. Though also I think that Icon...
Earthquakes. Whoa. That's just people.
Oh, it's fine. We're okay. It was that was just like a 0.0 on the Richter scale. Yeah, so SOFM will be our MVP out of this game. Congratulations to him on his Gragas. I think the funniest part of the game to me was when he was sprinting out of the jungle with Predator.
That was a good gank in the top lane.
That was a good gank in the top lane.
There was
this is 10th MVP, by the way. This guy's been racking up MVPs.
He's doing it for the junglers. You know, there's not a lot of junglers that get on that MVP list, but SOFM is one of them because most of those came from the start of the split where he was getting funneled. So rightly so, a deserving MVP for the start of the split, but this time around gets the Gragas, does his buttons, and he's able to get them through the early game, which is all you really need. If you're Snake, right? He got the early game done. They knew they had the late game, so they were just hanging out until they won.
That's the thing, really. You know, SOFM just kind of woke up in this game because I feel like he was a bit asleep in game 1 and game 2, and in the third game it's just like, all right, it's time to win. I'm going to pick Gragas, I'm going to go Predator, and I'm just going to gank continuously. First 3 kills of the game was all instigated by SOFM, so he was just smashing people left and right. So, yeah, well played to him. Maybe purposely sandbagging so that he can peak up, which means he'll get the 3rd MVP. That's, you know, if you want to confirm at least one MVP a series, that's how you do it. You play down, and then you play up.
I don't
and you
know.
create that difference, right?
I don't know if the algorithm accounts for troughs in performance.
I don't really know. I actually feel like the algorithm changes every single time, to be honest. But either way, we had a bunch of games this week in week 9. Of course, this is Sunday, so it's the end of this one. But we do get to take a look at the standings and see how everything is shaping up as we head into our last 2 weeks of play. That's right. There's a week 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. That means 2 more weeks of play. And this fancy graphic that we can show you here shows us how we're doing. So semi-finals bye has been confirmed by Rogue Warriors. Our playoffs being secured. Everybody in the Eastern Conference and EDG on the Western side.
Yep, definitely the case. Now, for the Eastern Conference, whilst they are secured in playoffs, they aren't secured in their positioning in the standings. You notice that IG being 16-1 aren't even purple yet, so
no.
Still to be determined. Now, Suning Gaming can probably not get much further than 4th, I don't think, though. They'd really need to push some limits there. I'm not even sure they have more than 4 games left, nonetheless.
OMG, yeah, they have played less than the other people, though. RNG have played 2 more games than them. So, yeah, there might be a chance for them to eke into 3rd if RNG just lose everything from here on out. But RNG have actually played most of their games. They'll be playing the rest of their games in week 11. So, there is a chance, but it's a small one.
Very small chance. And unfortunately for OMG, you saw it in the standings. They were eliminated today.
Yep,
Hope is still there for Snake as they fight against Fun Plus Phoenix for that last remaining position in playoffs.
They will indeed. Remember, guys, that we will not be here tomorrow. So if you're tuning in for some Monday League of Legends on the LPL, it's not going to be happening. It will be happening on Tuesday, though. So if you want to tune in for that, we'll have 2 series for you. That will be Snake versus Rogue Warriors. And we'll be ending the day with Suning Gaming taking on BLG.
21st China time, so keep that one in mind. It's not going to be tomorrow, it's the day after, so just think about that in your brains right now.
Yep.
The first set's very exciting, but the second set is a big determining factor for seedings, for playoff standings, and for where these teams are going to wind up. Suning Gaming with a massive surge, but BLG, always a dark horse, always the potential to make those runs.
I mean, the miracle is always alive until they're eliminated. You know, it's just like, it's the same for every game that they play. It's the same for every split, every season that they play. If BLG feel like going and making their run all the way through playoffs, they'll just do it. So make sure to tune into that game because they just might pull off a miracle again because it's BLG.
Yeah, but the miracle's just going to be denying Suning the fun, sadly, because they're in the Eastern Conference. Feels BLG, man.
Feels BLG, man. Either way, for now, we are going to close the show on behalf of myself, Rusty, everyone on the broadcast team. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday.